B. Listen to the text. For questions 1 to 5, choose the correct answer. A, B, or C.
Good morning. My name is Francis DuPont, and I have been conducting research into the way the Internet is affecting our society and our human rights. The Internet is now an integral part of our world. We use it to buy and sell, communicate with our friends and professional associates, do research, and pursue hobbies. In fact, there is no facet of modern life that is outside the grasp of the Internet. The Internet has provided a platform for everyone to share their opinions. Almost anyone in the world can log on and post their views on social media, create a blog, or respond to news articles. From a human rights point of view, this is a tremendous tool for people wishing to exercise their freedom of speech. And this leads to an interesting issue. Can there be too much freedom of speech? There are plenty of comedy websites whose content could offend people and should, in some people's opinion, be banned. But by closing such websites, aren't we restricting people's freedom of expression? On the other hand, if one person's views lead to another person's freedom being limited, where do we draw the line? Here's an example. On a public message board, open to all, someone starts a conversation about immigration. The first post is from an advocate of strict immigration laws who wants to reduce the number of immigrants to their country. The second post is from a migrant who takes offense at the first post, claiming it is racist, although no offensive language was used. An argument follows which turns into name-calling and open hostility. But who was in the wrong? Was anyone in the wrong? The Internet has no equal as a public platform. There has never been a format of expression that is so open and accessible to the public. As I mentioned earlier, almost anyone can post online. And this leads to another issue. The Internet can be invasive. If a friend of a friend of a friend posts something, you could find yourself reading an article or looking at an image that you find hugely offensive but have not been able to avoid. You have the right to decide what you do or don't look at. However, certain aspects of the Internet take that option away. Other people's views can be broadcast in such a way that we have to take notice. Is this a violation of people's rights? Some would argue that it is. There are, of course, certain things which should not be available online. Any form of abuse is unacceptable, either virtually or in reality. However, people have suffered torrents of abuse and even persecution online, and there is little that can be done to stop it. Policing the Internet is an immeasurably difficult task, so the thing we should be looking at is why there is so much abuse online in the first place. Well, perhaps the answer has to do with anonymity and detachment. People can be anonymous online, and therefore needn't worry about what people think of what they say. A person posting online could be a complete stranger to the person they are communicating with, and therefore may have little to no concern for their emotional well-being. Even when we are communicating with a complete stranger, we should try to be sensitive and consider their feelings. After all, wouldn't you want others to do the same for you?